Hello, YouTube. I decided to make another video. I've been trying to post this video for over a week now. It's a article by a news source called The Street. CVS is permanently closing hundreds of stores for a surprising reason. The drugstore and healthcare chain announced a slew of changes planned before the end of 2024. It's no secret that the U.S. drugstore landscape has been consolidating at a jarring pace now that the pandemic has passed. Rite Aid has been reportedly toying with the possibility of filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy and liquidating many of its stores. It currently has some $3.3 billion in debt. The proposed deal would permanently shutter 400 to 500 of the chain's current 2,100 stores and hand them over to creditors or other interested buyers. With the pandemic now firmly behind us and brick and mortar retail at a crawling recovery pace compared with more robust corners of the market, drugstores have been ripe for change and perhaps inevitably consolidation. Walgreens recently parted ways with its pre-COVID era chief executive Rosalind Brewer, who abruptly left on September 1st. The drugstore is now seeking someone with deep healthcare experience to lead in today's dynamic environment, according to Executive Chairman Stefano Pessina. It's clear that if U.S. drugstore isn't implementing change, change is being forced on it, and more often than not, that spells trouble. And that's before accounting for the sharp spike in shoplifting and other retail crime, which has cut deeply into drugstore bottom lines and forced some to either shutter or chain up frequently stolen goods. CVS is one chain that has managed to weather the post-COVID recovery with as much ease and grace as is possible in the sector. The largest drugstore in America said in mid-September that it would launch a new company called Cordovus, which would aim to bring down drug prices for customers by producing biosimilar medications and negotiating directly with drug makers. The prospect is exciting for both customers and investors because CVS has not only market opportunity, but also the scale to compete with the large drug makers. But it's been active not only on the partnership and growth for front. But it's been active not only on the partnership and growth front. CVS is also consolidating thanks to a recent policy change that will shutter hundreds of locations at a rapid clip. CVS is shuttering hundreds of stores. A policy change first put forth in 2021 meant that hundreds of CVS locations would close as the chain worked to cut costs and get ahead of costs. The company has been evaluating changes in population, consumer buying patterns, and future health needs to ensure it has the right kinds of stores and the right locations for consumers and for businesses. As part of this initiative, CVS Health will reduce store density in certain locations and close approximately 300 stores a year for the next 3 years, the company said in late 2021. The drugstore has already shut locations in Des Moines, Iowa, Berkeley, California, San Francisco, Albany, New York, Houston, Kansas, Missouri, and Tallahassee, Florida. We consider many factors when making store closure decisions, including maintaining access to pharmacy services, local market dynamics, population shifts, a community store density, and ensuring there are other geographic access points to meet the needs of the communities, a spokesperson said of the decision. As many as 900 stores are expected to close through the end of 2024. Walgreens also said during its quarter 3 earnings call in June that it planned to close as many as 450 stores across the U.S. and UK to simplify the business. I mean, what is all these store closures going to do to people's jobs, people's livelihoods? Because I'm not an employee of Walgreens or CVS, but I do work at I do service orders at both of those, a lot of service orders. So that's going to cut into my company's, market share as well. That's going to hurt a lot of people. Let's see. I mean, it's just. I have another article here about Forbes drugstore downsizes CVS, Walgreens, and Rite Aid to close nearly 1,500 stores. The nation's largest drugstore chains are facing mounting pressure, and they've prescribed the same script to cure their ills, closing stores. Already drowning in $3.3 billion in debt and facing pending opiate-related lawsuit settlements, Rite Aid, the nation's third-ranked pharmacy chain behind CVS and Walgreens, is preparing for bankruptcy. As part of ongoing negotiations, it proposes to close 400 to 500 of its 2,100 stores, though its bondholders want even more to shutter. Its retail pharmacy segment generated $17.8 billion last year and $288 million in adjusted EBITDA, capital letters. I don't know what that stands for, but earlier this year, number two CVS completed a strategic review and announced plans to shutter 900 stores between 2022 and 2024. It's already pulled the plug on 300 of them. Global data analyst Neil Saunders shared with CNN that too many of its stores have fallen into disrepair, with bad lighting, depressing interiors, messy merchandising, and a weak assortment of products. They are not destinations or places where people go out of anything other than necessity. CVS Retail bought in $106.6 billion in revenues last year and operated nearly 8,000 stores plus some 2,000 pharmacies and retail chains, including Target. Then there is a number one Walgreens with its U.S. pharmacy segment, includes Dwayne Reed, operating just shy of 9,000 stores and generating $109.1 billion in sales. It announced plans to close 150 locations in a cost-saving move, and it also reduced the operating hours in some 1,100 stores. All three drug chains have different reasons for closing stores, but the downside in prescriptions is the same. Chain drugstores cost a lot to operate, and they don't have sufficient differentiation to attract customers feeling the economic pinch. The street columnist Thomas Lee warned, closing stores is a fact of life for retailers. But some closings should worry consumers and investors more than others, referencing Walgreens specifically, but it applies to all in the sector. As a pharmacy chain, Walgreens primarily sells stuff that people depend on for daily life, the merchandise that is supposedly more immune to inflation. Because of the worsening economy, the rest of the industry should take note, he continued. Same stuff, sold the same way. Let's face it, unless one notices, the nameplate on the door little distinguishes shopping in one major drugstore from another. They sell much the same stuff in pretty much the same way. They've tried to differentiate with additional product offerings such as adding upscale beauty lines, but that only puts them into greater competition with Ulta and Sephora, which hold the distinction of being many consumers' primary beauty destinations. They've got greeting cards, but so do Hallmark and Walmart, and Nibbles, just like the local convenience store. They also carry a smattering of basic grocery items on the shelf and in refrigerated cases, but grocery stores do groceries better. As chain stores diversify, they've sent mixed messages to consumers that jeopardize their position as a consumer's health and wellness partner. This has created a footload for independent pharmacies that make being a drugstore their number one priority. A study by the Pharmaceutical Care Management Association found that the number of independent pharmacies grew 13% from 2010 to 2019, up from 20,427 to 23,061, while the number of chain pharmacies remains stable at about 39,000. The shop local movement enhances the appeal of a local independent pharmacy. More importantly, if it's a store where the neighborhood pharmacist can provide truly personalized health advice. Like in Cheers, it's the place where everyone knows your name. Driving by the drugstore. Chain drugstores have evolved into destination locations where the primary draw is to fill a prescription. CVS, for example, credits about 75% of its sales to the pharmacy and only 25% to the front of the store. The front of the store is a convenience play to get prescription customers to add to their basket. But then when it comes to convenience, customers find filling their prescriptions while grocery shopping a more convenient option. Many grocery chains, including H-E-B, Wegmans, Publix, Winn-Dixie, Albertsons, ShopRite, Giant Eagle, Safeway, and Kroger got them. And the J.D. Power 2023 study showed supermarkets scored much higher in customer satisfaction than chain drugstores in its survey among 12,000 plus customers. Other mass merchants are scoring with pharmacy outposts too early at J.D. Power score of 702, including Costco, Walmart, Sam Club, and Target with its prime pharmacy services co-branded with CVS. It's important to note that CVS inside Target got higher mark 698 than CVS on the street 651, supporting the idea that it is more convenient to get a prescription filled while shopping for other things in a grocery store or mass merchant like Target. Shopping in the drugstore for other stuff while waiting for a prescription doesn't have the same appeal. Behind the glass. Hanging over many chain drugstores is the threat of retail theft, which cost the retail industry $112 billion in losses last year, a 19% increase over 2021 levels, according to a new study by the National Retail Federation. Pharmacies are among the retailers with the highest average shrink rates. Early on in the organized retail crime spree in 2020, drugstore chains were identified as prime targets to pilfer easy to turn, high demand stolen goods such as health, beauty, personal care, and baby care products, laundry detergent, and household cleaning supplies. Trained drugstores responded quickly by pulling those items behind glass, only to find that what was intended as a theft prevention measure turned into a sales prevention one. Oh, wow. As an executive for a firm that supplies anti-theft devices to Walgreens says, lock cases can result in a 15 to 25% loss in sales. And they also wave a red flag to customers that shopping there may be dangerous. Ready for disruption. Into the breach comes Amazon and other online retailers providing prescriptions without the customer ever having to set foot in a store. While the JD Power survey found 18% of mail order pharmacy customers said they definitely or probably will switch pharmacies in the next year, customer satisfaction with mail order grew 9 points from the previous year, reaching an average of 684 points, well ahead of chain drugstores at 659. Amazon saw its vulnerability and launched a prescription service earlier this year past part of its Prime membership. Members can fill generic prescriptions that treat more than 80 common health conditions for a flat $5 monthly fee with no delivery charge. This adds to its full service pharmacy option, including PillPack. D.A. Davidson and analyst Tom Forte told S&P Global, absolutely, Amazon will take market share. CVS and Walgreens are ripe for disruption. Research and markets predict revenues for online pharmacies will grow at, CAGR of 19% from 2020 through 2026. I don't know what that stands for. COVID hangover. During the pandemic, drug chain stores got a critical test of their performance, and as their current struggles show, they might have missed an opportunity to carve out a special place in their customers' hearts and minds. Since then, they've been leaning into healthcare. For example, CVS has established many clinics for urgent care and launched an online CVS Health virtual primary care service. And Walgreens introduced Village Medical Primary Care. These efforts may turn the tide, but won't address the other factors that weighing in on their core retail operations. The National Association of Chain Drugstores reports that 90% of Americans live within 5 miles of a pharmacy. Losing upwards of 1,500 chain store locations out of 39,000 will probably not change that statistic. But with so many options, customers can be selective about where they fill their prescriptions. And the fact they can rarely find other places doing it better than the chain stores shows how vulnerable the leading drugstore chains are. So, just wanted to know, I just wanted to share that. Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS, there definitely is a retail apocalypse. Has been brewing for a few years now. People do depend upon these stores. Like I said, I'm a vendor for these retailers, so most of my work is done in Walgreens and CVS. So it's just not going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot of people. They close those down, but like I said, I believe America is falling anyway. I know it is, and which is a good thing for the children of Israel. America needs to fall because America has never, ever, ever paid restitution to the people who unwillingly built this country for free. They haven't. The devils are still living on stolen land while they scream and yell about illegal immigrants. which they themselves are illegal immigrants because they had never paid for this land. So, and I just want to know what you all think. Just tell me what y'all think.